A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Dustin Sweetelson here on this Thursday morning. Crack, top of the hour. Unscripted with Crackman Bill Krackomberger. Sorry about that. You'll be evicted from the chair next hour. I apologize for that.
I mean, me and Crack next together, it'd be a lot of meat. It's a lot of meat on one. If this was an airplane, the flight attendant would come around and be like, "Sir, you two gentlemen need to balance out the plane, so we're going to spread you out on opposite ends."
We get tweets, beating the book. Always appreciate the feedback. Best listeners in the game, tons of them. I got to clear these before Crack gets here. Kenny Dillingham, sexual. It's pronounced Malhotra. Sorry. I said Malhotra, which was better than what Luke said.
True.
Luke was like, I don't know what that was. Jump ball. I'm betting that Gil heard the term butthurt for the first time today. Oh, no, I know that. I know that term. I just love it.
You're just too classy to use it on
that. Yeah, I just don't say it on the air.
Yeah, you're too classy to use it on your radio program, and that's one of the nicer things I say on mine.
Mr. Masterline. Oh, you've apparently never heard Fridays here. Potty mouth Fridays. Mr. Masterline signed up with Profit X. Gil, question. I was in California in December, and after I left, I heard you can't use Profit X there now. Who do you use when you go to SF? Well, Profit X now usable in California once again. They were a sweepstakes. They were no longer a sweepstakes. Now they are regulated by the Commodities Exchange, so you can play Profit X in California.
Also really like their interface. That's the thing that matters to me.
So great.
Like, I need a really functioning interface, and I find theirs to be, like, it pops, things jump out to you, it moves very smoothly. I do like theirs.
And it's the most relatable to sports bettors.
Yes.
That's the big thing. Bullet Godfrey. This is terrible. Question for your Kelly fill-in. The man's name is Dustin.
No, I am now the known as the Kelly fill-in.
Question for your Kelly fill-in. What is that wristwear he has on? Looks like a Pepsi with a Jubilee. Kelly may need to step it up.
It is, but it's not a Rolly. I know people think it's a Rolly. It's a Seiko mod. I am getting into watches. And it's a Seiko watch that's been modified, and it sort of looks like a Rolex.
Okay. Donnie Miller. Will there be posted odds we can wager on which VSiN employees are in the closet would be a perfect June promotion? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, what I meant was literally there's a closet at the D where we used to do stuff.
A literal closet.
A literal closet at Bar Canada, and people are still in it. Not a figurative closet, but thank you, Donnie. Mikey P. New segment idea. Are we feeling spicy or trepidatious? And make sure you're wearing rouge. Thank you, Mikey P. Spence CC. I usually don't bet money line in baseball, but my model has loved the Nats all season, almost have a daily play on them, and its totals too. I'm sure regression is coming, but they have been our most profitable team by far. Great show today, fellas. Good on you, Spence, for getting ahead of that, because you're right. Probably the train probably doesn't go the rest of the year, but you know what? Who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe it does.
I, in the past, have been more of an under better in baseball, but if the Nats are playing and I like the matchup, I like overs. I mean, they're the best over team, but they're just putting it on everyone.
Tim Bowers, I also want to watch more soccer after the World Cup, but the best players and games are in the mornings when I'm used to watching sports later in the day. Maybe if the MLS ever got its crap together, then soccer could grow. I won't hold my breath, though.
We have Messi, though.
Yes, we do. We do have Messi. Alt-Control-Delete by Mark B. says, I've never endured such an excruciatingly boring sweat than pulling for Falika's Bosnia over 15.5 shots yesterday. They just passed the ball to each other all day like a bunch of cowards. Horribly boring sport. Disclaimer, I don't blame Falika. I blame soccer. Wow. That was very America, that tweet. Very American. Doug Knutson Sports. Another fun fact about the Kirk Gibson home run that you referenced. Who was the guy on base? He answers it for us. He says, Mike Davis, who lives in Las Vegas and is my son's hitting coach. I did not know that. I did not remember that. No Emu Doug. My kids call my hair, quote, the frightened squirrel look. Mark might qualify. Mark Borchard, he's talking about. Chance Copperpot. Hurricanes did, in fact, cover the series spread base winner, so I have the Brew Crew division winner at plus 116 instead of the current market at minus 500. So I just wanted to take a second to thank you for that one from a few weeks back. I guess he had a parlay of some kinds, cross-sport parlay, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Steve the Proxy. Listening 90 minutes behind, but has anyone addressed the Little League defense the Mets put out there yesterday?
Oh.
Fans were chanting Pete Alonso in Citi Field. They had 6 errors. Really, it was 8. Mendoza must be fired today. Worst team ever assembled. Losing a doubleheader to the Cubbies yesterday. 10-3 and 10-5.
I don't think baseball managers do all that much, but the one thing I tell you as a Mets fan, this team has no vibe. There's no chemistry. They are not connected in any way. That is the one element that does fall on the manager, and it's trickling out onto the field now. You got to do something.
Got to do something. Super Jerk, it's funny. He goes, every quote-unquote sharp guy before the season, I have Boston to win the division. Yeah, although Joe Pito on this show said he was really down on Boston, had a season win total under. So not on this show. And Keith Katakia, how do you evaluate Iga's loss in the context of Wimbledon betting and in general her matches? It seems like she's lost her mental toughness, and when one thing goes wrong, it snowballs. On Keith, you could not be more correct. It does feel that way. Now, that was her first match on grass yesterday. She loses to Navarro, who has been playing on grass. So there's always that sort of, thing in your brain that sort of throws it out. But you're right about the mental stuff. And this has been going on for a while. She is the defending champion at Wimbledon. But we'll see next week. We're all going to see together. Certainly there has been something between the ears for quite some time. And yet she managed to win a slam last year. New York, North Carolina sports. Hey, Gil, there's this little website known as VSIN that has a great first 5-inning analyzer page. Yes, I should have mentioned that as well. Thank you, New York, North Carolina sports. My bad. Chris Heath heading to Pac Bell for the matinee. A little team from Sacramento's in town. Did we get any daily picks from Mark? We didn't, but Dustin, you have some picks.
I do. I don't have anything on that. I love still calling it Pac Bell. That's like 3 names ago.
Yeah, it was Pac Bell. We still call it Pac Bell in San Francisco, but it was Pac Bell. Then it was SBC, and now I think Oracle was after SBC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have some game coming up. It's nice. Little morning baseball coming up in 10 minutes. Royals and Rays. I think it's an interesting pitching situation here. You've got on one end Seth Lugo on the hill, second start after the concussion list where he got hit by the comebacker. They're plus $1.23. The Rays are going to have an opener, minus 149. The opener will give way, though, to Ian Seymour, who's actually been pretty good at home this year. Seymour, 3.42 home ERA. His Ks are a little bit down at home. I don't love the offense for Kansas City, obviously, and I think Lugo can keep Tampa Bay at bay. You see what I did there? Mm-hmm. Last year against them, 6 innings, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts. And Tampa Bay doesn't strike out a lot, which is fine because Lugo wants ground balls. The contact, I think, plays into him, and he'll get them. It's a getaway day. I don't have the numbers to corroborate this, but I do like identifying more unders on getaway days than overs. So I'm going to go with the first 5 under 4.5 because I want no piece of the Royals bullpen every day.
Okay. Those are all your plays? Oh, you got tons of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do have a Mackenzie Gore bet. I was like, I'm trying to find a Mackenzie Gore bet. Okay. All right. So then also there's another day game about to get started. This one in the bottom of the next hour. Seattle goes to Pittsburgh. I'm going to be on the under in this one. Bryce Miller has been awesome, man. And it's the rubber game of the series. Seattle won 3-1 Monday. Pittsburgh 11-1 on Tuesday. Miller, his last 4 starts, a 1.13 ERA, 29 Ks, 24 innings. Pittsburgh strikes out a lot, 26th K rate. So I'm going to go over 5.5 punch-outs for Bryce Miller, but I'm also going to go under 8.5 in the game. As Bubba Chandler, 3 good starts in a row for him now. Seattle swings and misses a ton. Chandler is a little bit worse at home on the season, but I like the way he's shaping into form as a young live arm. I don't really like the Seattle offense either, so I'm going to go with the under 8.5 here along with the Miller play, and then I'll just run through the rest of them real quick. Yankees minus 1.5. It is very rare that I like a run line, but this is a combination of events. Boston back home after the road trip, multiple time zones to Colorado, no day off in between. Edge on the mound is Cam Schlittler, and then you have the Yankees taking on Connolly Early, who I actually like his upside, but the Yankees kill lefties. They absolutely decimate them. So the combination of all that, Edge on the mound, the travel for Boston, combined with Yankees against lefties, minus 1.5, plus 110. And then finally, I don't like Mackenzie Gore on the road. He's not a good road pitcher, and that's going back a while now. 5.75 road ERA. Toronto puts the ball in play. They do not strike out. 3rd lowest strikeout rate in baseball. So I think Gore is not going to complete 6 innings, under 17.5 outs recorded for the lefty for the Rangers.
Okay. Wow. Bevy of picks. Gizzy. On Twitter, Gizzy1344, you said eviction. I felt like I went through an exorcism. I've been trying to get a housemate out since January. Gotta love the so-called friends you help out, then take advantage of you. Wow. Getting his personal problems out there with us. Brian M., what you should have said to Dustin is Fridays are the cashing tickets is what it's all about days on ANG. And then Darren Frazier with Gilly and the ghost of Kelly Bidlin. This reminds me of when Bewitched switched Darren's and acted like nobody noticed. Great job, Dustin. Now let's get to the best segment of the week with Crack. Bill freaking Krackenberger. Let's go. Yeah, we're about to do that. One thing I want to say here, though. Luke Swain, NHL Draft tomorrow night. Pick 3, Chase Reed, 3-1. Number 4 pick, Caleb Malhotra, 6-1. 6th pick, Keaton Verhoff at 5-1. 8th pick, Vigo Bjork at 10-1. Those are his 4 picks. Tennis, we went 2-0, a clean sheet. Winners, as a dog on Elena Gabriela Ruse. She wins over Emma Navarro this morning. Tatiana Maria took care of Teresa Valentova in straight sets. That is not only a clean sheet today, that is 9 out of 10 now. 9 out of her last 10 on grass. The grass court season has been spectacular. We'll see if we can't keep it going through Wimbledon. Dustin, thank you, sir. We'll see you tomorrow.
That was fun.
Crack, next. Bill Krackomberger on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 3 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV. Gil Alexander here at Circa. Big news of the morning, again, for those who missed it. Trade in the NBA went down about a half hour before we came on air here at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Broken by Shams Charania over at ESPN. The Charlotte Hornets trading LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30, and 3 second-round picks in 2029, 2032, and 2033. That from Shams. The addendum to that is now the Hornets have just signed Kobe White to a 3-year deal, which is unsurprising. My reaction to this again this morning was, what are either of these teams doing? By the way, here's the Shams tweet about Kobe White, that he intends to sign a 3-year, $74 million deal to return to the Hornets. White was a major priority for the Hornets, now steps into a new starting role in the backcourt. So they move on from LaMelo to Kobe White. I was perplexed by both sides of this trade because, LaMelo Ball had a fine year. He was certainly happy in Charlotte. Charlotte was the favored team of many an NBA hardo that came on this show and that was on throughout the network, and the interesting that they would be willing to blow it up. I texted Zach this morning, Zach Cohen. His first words were, "Man, they must really hate LaMelo Ball." And then about the T-Wolves, yes, they still have this potentially great backcourt with LaMelo Ball side by side with Anthony Edwards, and the issue there for me is, but you traded Julius Randle earlier this week and now Naz Reid. The soul of your team is kind of off. Now, they will be a more breakneck pace kind of team probably, but I just don't get it for either team. By the way, I texted Drew Dinsick. His first reaction was, are the T-Wolves trying to get Chris Finch to leave? He must be annoyed by this. So we'll see. Time will tell. But this feels to me like as big of a lose-lose trade. I could be very wrong. But it feels lose-lose to me. That was my first reaction on this. Kobe White, though, the latest, signing the 3-year, $74 million deal to return to the Hornets. We get tweet speed in the book. Eagle Marine, Gil, great job on the tennis picks. Keep them coming. The ladies' tennis was great. Sure beats South Korean soccer snooze fest. Come on, Bear. It's not his fault that it's soccer. Alt Control Delete. FYI, tailing you when you too are simpatico on a tennis favorite is an absolute cheat code. I count 7 wins in a row, including Tatiana Maria today. I didn't realize that Zach was on Tatiana Maria. Let's see. Sports Investor 57 heading to Vegas for a couple days and just so happened to be proposing to my girlfriend. Can you ask Crack what he thinks is the best spot for this special moment? Love the show. Thanks, Gilly. Without further ado, unscripted with the Crack Man, Bill Krackomberger. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Billy?
Good morning. So he wants to know the best place to propose to his girlfriend?
He says he's coming out. He's proposing to his girlfriend. Ask Crack what he thinks the best spot for this special moment is.
It just matters if, I would say the fountains at the Bellagio are beautiful in front of him. But what if She says no. You may throw her in there.
Yeah, there has to be a contingency plan.
Yeah, or the conservatory at the Bellagio. Wow, imagine when you say both things. Conservatory, is that the right word? Where
I think so, yeah.
Beautiful, all the flowers are on the side.
Yeah.
There's some really good spots in Vegas. Or if you're, I don't know how old they are, if they're young and party kids, so somewhere at the Cosmo, that's the place to be seen, the Chandelier Bar. There's some off the hand. And then if you're going for a cheap wedding, you can go down to Jerry's Nugget and do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Elvis Chapel.
Palomino across the street.
Yeah. Elvis Chapel's always there.
Elvis Chapel. Yeah. But
wow. Right out of the box asking you for a proposal advice.
Yeah. Well, it is a great town to come to and propose, I guess. And, even people that want to get married quick, right? They still do that.
Yeah.
Divorces. It used to be one of the quickest places for divorces. I don't know if it still is, but used to have I start right out here with every day I seem to be getting fake text. And the texts are like today's text is I need to get you a copy of my book I just finished. Now, I don't know that person, of course. It says War, W-A-R, War, which why wouldn't you put a regular name on there? But
it came up as a text as War.
Yeah.
Like Bill, like it would be
like
Bill.
Joe, Bill,
right.
Pete.
Okay.
But it happens every day. I've been getting text on, and people just like War. Now I did know a War back in the day, 20-some years ago. I knew, and Wayne Allen Root was his name. That was his. Wayne Allen Root. He was a sports guy that gave out picks, right?
Sports guy that went political at some point.
Oh,
right?
okay. FC.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, he did go political.
Yeah.
But I think he made plenty of money. Talking BS back in the day with all the other guys that sold things. Mm-hmm. That's funny. The reason why I knew him, one of the sports books, this is 25 years ago, one of the sports books that I used to deal with him, and I think he just came in or something, and I just wound up meeting him with the director or something, and he was like, oh, God, that guy he never wins. And it's just funny how you're if you're, I don't mean to pick on him. I'm just thinking in general. I just thought about it. So if you have someone that sells games, and of course you're going to lose, like 99% of people that sell games, you're going to lose, then why even have an account in your own name? Put it in your wife's name or something. I don't know. But anyway, going back to the fake text, it'll happen with some buzzwords that could be relative to you or key to you. And I can just picture me. I actually have to look sometimes, because I meet so many people. I'm saying, wait, do I know this person? Now I look at my phone list. And I said, I don't know. I don't have him in my phone, him or her on my phone list. And someone, obviously, if it's someone that says, hey, great talking to you the other night, or something, obviously it's not the case.
Right.
But it made me think about the older generation.
Oh, this is exactly
so if they're
where I was
20
going
years
with
older,
it.
I'm not, like if I'm thinking about it, I consider myself pretty street smart. If I'm thinking about some of the text I get or some of the, I don't even go into the emails. I erase pretty easy, but text on your phone is a more personal thing. You deal with it every day rather than an email where you check when you want at your convenience. Text just comes spontaneously. What chance do our parents and grandparents have?
No, none. I can tell you my dad, when he was in his final years, and this was with email too, it didn't matter how many times I told him, I was like, stop clicking on stuff.
Right.
It didn't matter. He goes, what do you mean? It says, what do you mean? I think it's he didn't, the old school mind doesn't relate to that. And so he would just click on everything, and it was just, he would never stop doing it. So yes, it does prey on the elderly specifically. But as you also point out, it's getting more and more sophisticated.
Yes.
So you're not immune to it even if you're younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the spoofing is the scary thing.
Yeah.
When they send you something from a friend's phone number. So they can actually find out Gil Alexander's phone number, my phone number. Now they can spoof and send something to Bill Krackomberger from Gil Alexander. It comes from you. I think it's you. And they actually, imagine that, they actually hack the system to send something. That's scary. So now you have to think, is that Gil's words? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to think,
That's right.
Does
Would
Gil talk
say
like
this?
that? Imagine going that deep.
Would Gil tell me that he loves me? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Would Gil say, are you going to the strip club tonight?
Gil would not say that.
Yeah, right. So, but though, out of control, and it's scary because it's getting worse. Yeah. And I notice it on all forms of, it's not just the regular phone. I have WhatsApp, and WhatsApp happens on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, there's like 5
Yeah.
a day or any of the other ones we use.
Yeah.
It's not just that, though. You know, when we say this when we do this job is, you know, when you do any kind of media, whether it's news, sports, whatever, and especially the more legitimate operations, you can't, like, up until about, and this is the other thing that gets me about this stuff, we get normalized to this stuff so quickly that our brain goes, oh, this has always been the case. No, this wasn't even the case like 3/4 of a year ago. 3/4 of a year ago and deeper into the past, you could sort of rely on everything that you were looking at. Now, if something comes down, you have to double check, triple check, quadruple check before you believe anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just think about big things in the past, like when the Luka trade happened, as recently as that. You would have had to have corroborated that 10 times before you were like, somebody's messing with me, right?
Yeah.
Or just, you know, deaths of famous people or whatever. And it just sucks that just that little simple thing in life now becomes such a burden if you're doing live programming, because you can't, people are going to race to be first, and they're going to be wrong. And the people that are the most careful are not going to be first ultimately, but those are the ones that are being the most
about you,
judicious.
but I hate AI as far as someone sending a photo of something and it may not be real. I just think everything's real. So when I see, you know, I hate having to read the comments to find out if this was fake. And now that last week was a golf tournament and a buddy of mine had the winner at
Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, I think I showed you the ticket. It was like ridiculous. He bet it a month ago for 180 to 1.
Jeez.
$250 or something, like ridiculous. You won like $50,000. And
Good on him.
So now I was with a friend in Pennsylvania that his son works for a company, and the company does a lot of AI stuff. He immediately put me in a photo with Darren Clark, and when let's see who came in. There was a guy second. It was Kim, I think it was catching up to him.
Yeah.
He immediately sent a photo to me with a baseball bat chasing the guy, the other guy on the golf course, and then burying his ball in the sand. I showed it to you.
Yeah.
This is scary. It looks so real.
Well, I was telling these guys I was going to North Carolina a couple weeks ago for a wedding.
Right.
And like within 15 seconds, they have like pictures of me hiking in the highlands of North Carolina.
Wow.
And you're just like, this is perfect.
It's so easy to do like that.
Yeah.
I don't like fake tweets.
No.
I like to know if it's real or not real. Who has time to go through
Guess what,
and
man?
decipher?
That genie is out of the bottle. It's never going back.
Never had toys when they were kids.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And these, by the way, are the more benign things. I mean, you can get into a whole broader discussion about AI and whole industries of jobs that will disappear and that kind of thing. So,
Right.
I mean, that's a much broader discussion and scary, quite frankly.
Yeah.
For
and,
kids.
you know, people always ask me, "Oh, are you afraid about AI with sports betting and you know what's coming for the sports books?" No.
No.
I say no.
No.
That's what I say.
That's what I say, too.
I say no.
No.
They can't duplicate things that we do.
Too many moving parts there.
Yes.
Coming back with Bill Krackomberger at Bill Crackman with the K on Twitter. It's a numbers game at VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes. Cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. That's the key, no rake. That means every dollar stays in the prize pool. There's Circa Millions, of course, 18 weeks, 128 ways to win. Circa Survivor, pick one winner each week, last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo for the high rollers, $100,000 entry Survivor contest. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details. We get tweets beating the book. Patrick Kelly, best hour of radio in a long, long time. Thank you, Bill Krackomberger. Gil, that's real, not transactional. I can't listen in today, but have a good one. Thank you, Patrick Kelly. Jordan Pagel, I proposed to my girlfriend last summer at the Legacy Club at Circa. Great spot for pictures at night, and they have special proposal packages if you're looking to spend a little more money.
Wow.
There you go.
A little proposal package.
The Stoner Turtle, crack, my favorite segment. Real Nicks, I got engaged on the bridge over the canal in the Venetian. Had a beautiful wedding less than 2 years later at Poolside Chapel at Flamingo.
Wow, so many cool spots.
Saved the airfare, got divorced in Ohio 15 years later.
There you go.
Always looking out for my A&G brothers. LOL. Thank you, Real Nicks. Colin Murphy, may I recommend live on air in the beautiful VSiN studios? Dustin can MC it. Invite the Jardians girl. It will be beautiful. Do it right here in the Circus studio.
Beautiful.
Jeff Kuykendall. I appreciate this, Jeff. He says, nothing better than Gil imitating his father. Can tell you Can tell that you had a great relationship with him. The warmth comes through in your voice. Man, he's the greatest man ever, as far as I'm concerned. Bosch in Chicago. Holy blank, a Wayne Allen Root reference. I remember him being on TV. That, I can't even call him that. Like many others back in the day that sold picks over the phone, just the worst, would give out both sides on the same game. He was one of those. Let's see. Tony Hernandez. Gill and Crack, I look forward each and every Thursday to you gentlemen discussing a variety of topics. At 71, I agree with Crack about the illegitimate attempts to contact me via email and text from unscrupulous bots and humans. Not only sound advice on wagering, but also day-to-day challenges navigating things regarding what in effect is a super microcomputer in the palm of everyone's hands. This is why Thursday is huge for me. Crack is definitely a smart man, and his vast knowledge is greatly appreciated. Many thanks.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm looking here on the Turkey USA tonight. It reminds me of something I was going to mention it last week. I'm glad I didn't because USA won. But
first of all, Bill, that's Turkey, eh? First of all.
Turkey, yeah. So, yesterday I filmed my podcast over at the World Series in a beautiful studio they have there.
You guys have a beautiful setup.
It's really
over
beautiful.
There.
The setup's great. This was the first week they actually set it up for us like that.
You and John Orlando.
Me and John Orlando, and this gentleman from Turkey was there, and he's going to the game. But he was stopping over in Vegas, the World Series, and he came into it. And it just made me feel so good. He goes, we watch you every week. I was like, do you guys even have gambling there? Like, I didn't know the situation that the Turkey, he says, we have no poker rooms. But yet, he was there at the playing poker.
Wow.
So I thought it was interesting. There was two things they didn't have in Turkey. I forgot. It was no turkey in Turkey. No, there was, I'm trying to think of the other thing. He said two different things that surprised me there.
Yeah.
But, we had a nice conversation. It was just, it's cool when you're reaching across the pond or even Turkey.
Absolutely.
Or like someone came from England was watching the show. And
and I never take that for granted. It's really incredible.
Cool.
We have listeners from England who say they listen to us in drive time, which always trips me out. It's like,
there were some guys outside that I met outside here, and they were happy to meet me, and they said they met you in the past also. And it's always nice to meet people, and it makes up for the other ones, the ones that listen to the show, but the telephone tough guys.
Oh, those poor guys.
So I didn't tell you. Oh, so let's go back to the Turkey.
They're having a tough time with my tennis run. They don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, Gil said something it's so hard to believe. Gil went 2-2 in Turkey in tennis. I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and the guy
a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and the guy came at him and only posted
the losers.
Oh man!
Think about how sad your life is.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, and you can't talk about your 9 out of 10 because God forbid you do that.
Yeah.
You're bragging.
So it's the same thing. I was doing my Fox show on Sunday, Fox Sports Radio, and did the show. Gave out a WNBA prop loser. And someone actually, I showed you the tweet.
Yeah.
Said you should give up this WNBA prop stuff. And then my right-hand man says to me, what is he talking about? We've killed him in props for the season.
Yeah.
And even this month, we're 12-7. What's he talking? Now we're 12-6. Now we're 12-7. Just people just got to point out that loser.
It is a remarkable window into the human condition.
It is. It really is. It really is.
And I just want to say to these guys, and just me to you, you're always welcome here. I'll give you a hug. I understand you weren't hugged as a child.
Right.
I'll give you a hug. I know that's where this comes from. And I know it makes you feel better about yourself to think that somehow someone else's success is because of some other things. It's you. Relax. It gets better. Come here. We'll give you a hug. It really is an incredible window into the human condition, how people's brains, things aren't going well in their lives, so they need to convince themselves. By the way, nothing has to be true, by the way. They'll make up whatever about you, right?
Oh, yeah.
To feel good about themselves. But that it's just not just in this industry, right? That's in multiple areas of your life that you go through.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm just sitting here. I get a text from Randy McKay. I don't know what it means. I'm sure I'll find out. I just sent out a tweet about the show and giving blood. How do they relate? Maybe there's something there, but giving blood is obviously a good thing. Sometimes Randy, it's pretty cool though. Going back to this,
yes.
So I just seen 10 p.m. tonight Eastern. So it's 7 p.m. here. The game starts at 10.
Correct.
So people at home, I always consider
we're
home.
playing for nothing. Turkey's eliminated, and we're already first place in our group. So we can just place subs.
So I was going to say, now that may affect what I'm going to say then.
Yeah.
Because I don't follow the soccer. But the value of betting against the United States, here in the United States, you get some value. Last week, there was like plus 1.5 goals. It was a pure scalp with many sports books betting at a book here in town. So I just want you guys to check when the United States is playing, even for real, I guess, which will be the next game or games. And even tonight, though, you may find it. Like, they have no choice. The guy where I bet, it was here in town. It was a book in town. And the book in town, they have an app. They have lots of customers. He said, I have no choice. I have no choice. I'm getting all USA money. I had to make it a play for you guys that are sharp enough to come in and bet the opposite side.
Yeah.
So,
hasn't been sharp so far, but yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they lost money. And the sponsor of the BetMGM, sponsor of Sunday's show on Fox, they lost money. They lost a ton to the Knicks because they're only in New York. They're not in Texas where San Antonio played. So they lost. They got, I had the bucket out. Don't worry. The bucket was out. I put a tweet out with the bucket. But also, same thing he said, the director of Risk said, we can't get any money against the United States. Or, we're legal in 30 states. Everyone bets the United. Nobody's betting the opposite. So when they win, we're going to lose money on that game. We try to make it more as appetizing as we can on the underdog, but we still can't get any money. So the value there is definitely betting against the United States in lots of different situations. So you have to check, though, not all places, but especially towards game time when they see such a lopsided amount of money on the underdog. On the favorite, the United States, they say, wait a minute, we got to get some money here. We're going to lose a six-figure score here, maybe even more with one of the books that have so many representations in different states. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And last week when the person pointed it out to me, I looked at the line and I said, wow, that's a pure scalp. And by the way, I'll say it was at the Win. So you have the Win app. He's like, I got all one-way action, and they had to make it.
You're at the Win quite often.
I am. I like the Win.
Yeah.
Even
I'm
though
saying sports betting there.
Sports betting, even though they stopped me from playing video poker. Well, I could play video poker. I just can't get any comps, can't get any promotion. They were giving me great promotions, and I just ran lucky, though. I'd love to say I did something. I really would, but I still love the Win. And I love the Win Sportsbook. I think the book is so cool. I think it's the classiest casino in town. When people ask,
nicest hotel in town.
I think it's the nicest hotel.
Yeah.
I think the riffraff's kept out of there. I think the security's excellent there. One of the best places that have also surveillance. And if I go in there to play blackjack, which I don't ever do, they're going to stop me almost instantly. So they're pretty good. I'm sure Kelly they'd stop him too. And once you're in the matrix, once you're in the systems,
the list.
There's two different books. But once you're in that, they share information with other casinos.
Kelly can't go anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
With blackjack. The USA thing though is an interesting point because it is like this is the thing about the World Cup. We're all super excited about the USA team. 2 games so far, they have been spectacular. Again, tonight's game's a little fakakta because it's a different kind of thing. There's no motivation. In fact, they may play subs, if not throughout, for most. And so that's a little bit different. But you're right. Like, once we get to the knockout stage, maybe not the round of 32, but certainly round of 16 moving forward, that will be such an interesting betting handle in terms of just how lopsided it is in favor of the USA when, in fact, they are up against it, against really good teams.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right. But now this is regarding playing the books in the United States.
Yes,
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know some of the books that are international or have international representation. That's not going to be. So there you have it.
More with Bill Krackomberger at Bill Crackman with a K on Twitter. Name of the podcast is Wise Cracks. Coming back on a numbers game here at VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Don't forget about our NFL betting guide. It is out and full effect. NFL betting guide, our pro guide, includes, by the way, 3 burning questions for all 32 NFL teams, early best bets on props and futures, predictions for 2026 playoff teams. You get it now at VSiN.com/subscribe. $175 once again. Full VSiN Pro access through the Super Bowl. Adam Burke and company. did such a great job on this. NFL Betting Guide came out earlier this week, 3 days ago. VSiN NFL Betting Guide 1.0. Check it out, VSiN.com/subscribe. Again, $175, full VSiN Pro access through the Super Bowl. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Oh, apologies to the Stoner Turtle who says I misrepresented his tweet. I didn't see your hashtag, Stoner Turtle. I'm sorry, wasn't trying to misrepresent. He said he was slightly offended by it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Larry Meir. Hey, Larry Meir is tweeting into the show. Larry Meir might also direct this show. He goes, being an actual crew member who made it out of the closet at the D, I can confirm, yes, it is a closet. There was some debate here because I said people are still in the closet over at the D, and people took that as the figurative in the closet. There is an actual closet. Larry confirming people still over there in the closet at the D. Justin G. Got married at the Flamingo by the waterfall. Does the $20 trick at the front counter still work, or do I need to step it up to $50 coming to Circa next week?
Yeah, the 50 is the number, but 50 is a lot. So if they don't do something fantastic for you, I think you got to get it back.
Brian M. says, Turkey definitely has sports betting. They had a giant betting scandal that rocked the entire football federation. Over 1,000 players and officials were involved.
Wow.
Wow. Their entire sport was corrupted. Larry Fresh just met Crack, a true legend. That's Larry Fresh.
That was the guy I met outside. Very nice guy.
Chris of St. Bart's. When will... this is a great question.
He always has good stuff.
This is great. So this is... Crack and I were hanging out with Nifty last night.
Yes.
Chris of St. Bart says, when will Nifty get some airtime? Would love to hear some stories.
Well, he asks every week to come on, so...
He does, and Bill puts the kibosh on. I'm like, sure, Nifty. Before I can finish this sentence, Bill's like, no,
we'll let you know, Nifty.
We'll let you know, Nifty.
Yeah, it matters what the offer's up to.
Bill fired on any college football futures, he asked you.
College football futures. Well, they're the ones I bet had to move. I bet them like a month and a half ago. They had season wins up, maybe 2 months ago. So who's that person that said that?
That was Chris of St. Bart's.
Chris, okay.
He was also asking about Nifty.
No, yeah, I will definitely DM him.
By the way, my favorite part about the whole Nifty thing is you just busted on him the entire time.
I break his chops. The reason why I said DM, too, because when people say, well, how come you're not telling everyone? Because I know a lot of the lines have moved. It's not fair to give out a stale line. Isn't there a penalty for that?
There is.
That's why
$40 fines are issued. By the way, Nifty, Frank Sinatra's assistant.
For
personal
15
assistant
years.
For 15 years. Yeah.
Used to lie to him. Used to when Frank would be up in the room and they'd be in an obscure location or something.
Yeah.
And he said, Nifty, come on up. We'll watch Hawaii. He would like Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
We'll watch Hawaii 5-0 and get room service. Frank, I'm sorry. I got plans. How many times he did that?
The best part of that story is it just shows you he is Sinatra, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
But it shows you that after a certain amount of time, it doesn't matter who it is. You just want time. It's like if Halle Berry is your girlfriend for 3 years, after 3 years, you might be like, yeah, Halle, I got a thing. I can't really make it. So the thing Nifty is like, Frank, I'm not watching Hawaii 5-0 with you.
And
see ya.
He said that there was so many times they were in Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Playing for Prince Rainier and Princess Grace, and they had this beautiful, beautiful hotel. He said that the rooms were unbelievable. It was a palace where the prince put them, and so his wife Barbara was there, but she had to fly back to California. Now Frank's alone, and Frank, asked Nifty to come on up. We'll have dinner. Well, okay, fine. The next night, Nifty knew that he was going to have another night or two. And Nifty made plans to go see like the volcano or I don't know. He's like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's 15 years. Think about that.
Yeah.
And
That's so great.
But I what I love too. I love the stories of how generous Frank was, and nobody knew.
Yeah.
Nifty's like, Bill, I watched this guy give away tens of millions. I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
He goes, Bill, I delivered a check. Boy, I'm trying to think if I want to he delivered a check to somebody for $1 million. Frank wrote out a check for $1 million to a very popular person who went broke. Like he gave $1 million bucks.
Imagine how much $1 million was at that time.
Yeah. He said he gave away so many millions. He did so many shows where the money that was raised for the show, he just put it towards the church, put it towards a hospital stuff. He put towards stuff in hospitals. He just gave away so much money. There's a great special that was on HBO. I'm sure you can find it on HBO. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of that special. It was the best special that of any of the shows I've ever seen. That one was the three kids narrated it. Frank, Barbara, and Frank, Nancy, the daughter, and Tina narrated it with the mother who lived to 99. She just passed a couple of years ago, which was Frank's first wife. And they all narrated it. It was fantastic, and it just showed how generous Frank was, how good Frank was. And he never talked about it. There was many times he would read the newspapers and just see something happen, like Elvis. Elvis was good at this too. He's seen something happen. Only Elvis would move him right into Graceland. Elvis would say, tell Joe Esposito, go over and see if tell him I want to come over to see Elvis for, stay here for a little bit. We'll put him in a room. We'll put him in Sinatra was the same thing. He'd see things in the paper. He'd tell his secretary. He would tell her, send over money for this family. Don't tell them who it's from. I need an anonymous check sent to that family, and just don't even tell them who it's from. That happened so many times. So
amazing. You know who modern day, just bring back to sports, Shaq does this for everybody.
Wow.
Shaq will walk into random places and he will just so generous.
What a nice guy too.
Yes.
I met him over at Turnberry. He was looking at a unit. He was such a nice guy.
I met him when he opened up the chicken place behind the Hard Rock, which is now Virgin.
Yep, that's it.
It was a little chicken place, and he was sitting. I was standing there. We had pictures. He's just giant, right? He's not one of these guys that can sneak into a room by putting a hat on, right?
No.
Like most mere mortals can. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, he can never be inconspicuous,
right?
And yet he is just always the nicest dude in the world at all times. It feels like it's incredible.
You know what? And we will get Nifty in here for a couple of the stories that that were not told on my podcast when I interviewed him. And for anyone that wants to look at that, just put in Wager Talk, Bill Krackenberger. You'll see all my podcasts there. And one of them was with Nifty there talking. And Tony Orlando was on that show also. And but let me just tell you what happened last night.
Yes.
So we go to dinner, me, Gil, and Nifty, and we were walking out, and I was going to go into High Limit. You were going the other way. You were walking back to your place. Mm-hmm. I ran at the High Limit for a minute, and I just checked the machine in there because there's a really good machine, in there that could be on a certain level. So I went to check that. But you and I, before that,
yes,
I just showed you the way I look at casinos and sports books so differently now compared to when I was a kid or when I was younger. And now I look at it just so differently. Right away, I said, well, Gil, perfect example. We walk out of the steakhouse, and right to the left, I said, look at that machine right there. I seen it from a distance, how it was in a decent play mode. Nothing crazy, but I didn't even play it, though. Because sometimes I'm just not in the mode. But after I checked the one on the High Limit, do you know, me and Nifty went back to that machine.
Did you?
I said, you know what, Nifty? Let me go back to that machine, because that... At $3 a spin might be worth something, and then there was a $12 a spin, which can get real expensive. But it was at a good percentage, So I went back there with Nifty and played for a little bit. So now I take my ticket, the voucher, and this all happened that you don't even know about. I take the voucher, I go to the cashier to cash out. And I'm online, and I see there's 3 cashiers, that was very nice of them to have 3 cashiers. Sometimes that doesn't happen midweek. And the first 2 cashiers had a customer. The one didn't. But I could tell she was fidgeting with stuff from maybe the last customer or something. And I could tell she did not want me coming up to the register. She wanted one of those 2 cashiers to get done with their customer. You know how you could tell someone's their body...
they had to deal with you, in other words?
Yeah, deal with anybody. It's not just me particular, though. But you could just tell by the way they're moving their hands, and when she's like almost looking up. And now she says, like this. She waves me in. And it wasn't even like, can I help you, sir? She waved me in with the paw.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. And I go up there, and I give her the thing, and she don't say a word to me. And I whisper to Nifty, this ain't going to be good.
Yeah.
So I whispered to him, and she's got like a beehive hairdo. Like, she's been in the business many, many years. You could tell she's burnt out. And now she counts the money out and just pushes to me, doesn't say anything. And I said, oh, thank you, to her. I said, now it's time to mess with her. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it probably, but is the casino open 24 hours? They're all open 24 hours. You could ask Nifty. They're all open like a truck driver voice. She's like one of the old waitresses from a diner back in the 70s that was just mad at everybody. They're all open 24 hours. I continue. I'm going in. What about the cage cashier? Are you guys open 24 hours or do I have to go to Yes, we're all open 24 hours. Not done yet. One last question. Is there any 24-hour dining in their hotel? She says to me, I don't know. And finally, I just left. Nifty's like, oh, my God, you're right. She threw her hands up. I don't know. Like, get out of here.
That's fantastic.
I had to do it.
Wish I had.
Oh, Nifty was crying. He's like, you're right.
Oh,
you're right.
More with the Crackman, Bill Krackomberger on the other side. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. We get tweets, beating the book. Best listeners ever. Pick 10. Gil wanted to give props to your guest that gave out Sturts at Pick 16 a few days ago. Was a nice hit. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's Luke Swain, who was on earlier today talking NHL draft, which is tomorrow night. Jim Campbell, the people that write to you and complain about losing picks probably lost a whopping $5 bet. You both make educated picks, but it's our decision whether we ultimately play it or not. Have some accountability, people. Oh, it's worse than that, Jim Campbell. They're just there. It's a sad life they lead. Money Gun Guz, great show. Love you and Crack. Did you guys hear that? Oh, I didn't know this. Jardin, the popular breakfast and brunch restaurant at the Wynn, has permanently closed after a nearly 10-year run.
I did hear that.
We'll miss that place.
I heard that place amazing. Sometimes it doesn't make it as It's another popular restaurant years ago. Beautiful restaurant.
Yeah.
I would look on the pools and
good food.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I see Mel Gibson was smoking a cigarette in that restaurant last time I was there. Yeah,
unbelievable. Long shot Lou got married at the Silver Bells Wedding Chapel, 1997. Heard it burn down. Oh, and Randy McKay. This was the one I wasn't tagged on the first one, but he was saying listening to a numbers game before giving blood today, it always makes me feel good to give back, and was inspired by Chrissy Andrews.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my
good deal, Randy. Thank you.
My mishpucha, Chrissy. Vegas regular. Many U.S. states. Is this true? Many U.S. states won't allow wagering on domestic online sports books for Turkish sports due to the betting scandal.
I did not. I think everyone in Vegas is taking it.
Yeah. Montreal Max says, didn't think a Wayne Root reference would pop up today on Unscripted. What's next? Mike Warren or Bobby Cash? And reminds me of that silly Two for the Money tout movie with McConaughey and Pacino.
Very silly.
That I took half my office to, and we were getting stares laughing so much.
Right. Yeah, he's been around a long time. He knows.
Back in the Stardust days, he was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So this story that came out from David Purdom, Fanatics Sportsbook, to identify and ban bettors who harass athletes. This came out either, I guess it's today the 25th or yesterday, today, right?
By the way, can I say we are hard on sportsbooks? I am for that.
Absolutely.
Good on them.
Good for them.
Yeah.
A prominent sportsbook fighting back against the rise of threats and harassment directed at athletes, coaches, and officials from disgruntled bettors. So Fanatics announced it's going to partner with a system that uses artificial intelligence to investigate tools to detect social media abuse and identify people behind it. Well, I guess I'm going to have to start wearing that fake mustache again. No, but I'm 100% for this.
By the way, what is we were just talking about other stuff, but that is also another sort of subsection of humanity. It's like you're making bets and you are harassing athletes for your bet not cashing. By the way, this has been kind of a huge problem in tennis, where things like this, it really affects things too. The tennis establishment really hates gambling because of this issue, and especially like they're going after the athletes. And I will say this: I mentioned Gael Monfils, the French tennis player, who has literally gone on Twitter and gone back at them and said in his French accent, in English, he goes, "Who's the dumb one? I'm 39 years old in the last year of my career, and you bet on me? Right. Is that what you did?" Right? But like it has real life implications too. Like the Tennis Channel was kind of leaning into sports betting for a little while, and then this kind of harassment thing just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And you have young guys like Ben Wilson here at the station who might have ended up right where if they ever went gambling, maybe Ben Wilson just I don't know if he appreciates me sort of saying this about him, but he could have been like a great candidate for that kind of thing. And yet now with all this, they're like, we're not touching gambling. These people are crazy. That's their impression of what we do because of those kind of people.
Gil, maybe it has to be from being on the show. I remember when sports betting was getting involved on that tennis channel.
Yes, it was
and
from
then
the
it
show.
just stopped. No,
Just
I didn't
stopped, yeah.
pick it up. I didn't catch why. So because it's such a quiet sport and you can hear anything from the stands, is that why tennis would be really subjected
It's
to?
live on the stands, and then it's on Twitter afterwards. Just and absolutely, imagine the worst things you could possibly say to someone.
Right.
And by the way, to the ladies too, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like
Awful.
Is this is really how you guys are? You bet you lost, and this is your reaction to it?
These are people that are raised on social media and
It's
never had
incredible.
parental control
That's
and guidance
exactly
at
right.
home. So
Exactly
they just say
right.
they see it on social media. There's fights every day. People record fights and screaming and yelling. They just feel they can do that, and now it's being looked at, scrutinized, and penalized, which is good.
By the way, every time I talk about this subject, which is once in a blue moon, but when we do, I'll always get at least one tweet pushing back, being like, they're pro athletes, they should be able to take it. I'm like, shut up. Stop. Really? Like, it's never okay to do that.
Gil, before we go off here, so there was someone that tweeted out this morning. He won $40,000, and he's trying to say it's a small amount. I won $40,000 at a kiosk, a sports book with a kiosk in town here, representation, but also many different states. And he won $40,000 on the kiosk, and they gave him a real hard time cashing in his tickets. So it's funny, we always see these things. And how about that kid in Chicago that claimed to be a Joe Public bettor? Of course he wasn't.
Right.
And he won like $1 million, and he was saying, "Oh, it's so unfair. I live home with my parents, and I didn't get paid." They always wind up either dealing with a professional bearding in, or they're just too greedy. Instead of just taking slices at them, they want to stab the sports book in the heart and let them bleed. So this happened this morning, and the kiosk, he won $40,000 at the kiosk, and he went to go cash his tickets, and they gave him a real hard time.
Where was this?
I'll say it was Caesars.
Oh, okay.
So it's but I'm not so much. Listen, I'm not so much taking either side, though. I think if you book a bet, you have to pay a bet. So
that was my thing with the way, right? You took a bet.
You took a bet.
I won a bet.
Yeah.
And now you pay the bet.
That's a Seinfeld
That's
scene
right.
with the car rental.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
you can hold the.
you can hold, but-
take the reservation.
Take your reservation.
You can't hold the reservation. That's right.
But so he won that, went to go cash in, and I guess he had a hard time. But they did pay him. He had Meta glasses on. They had to take the glasses off because I guess he was, taping whatever he was doing. He was
okay.
Just trying to tape the interaction, but they gave him a hard time about it. So my problem is this. Have a system, and this is not to pick on Caesars, believe it or not. This is to anyone that has a kiosk or multiple kiosks. Have a system in place where you can limit and monitor bets. But hire somebody that monitors the kiosk. In other words, I'm not saying all of them, but let's say it hits a number. I'm not saying monitor every bet. Let's say it hits your limit. WNBA, someone bets $200. And now they're betting 200 multiple times. You could stop it if your limit's $500. You stop it at 500. If your limit's 200 on the kiosk, you stop it. Why do you take the bets if you're not willing to pay the bets? You're taking the bets. Now we know DraftKings in Connecticut and resorts, Atlantic City, they had kiosks all throughout the casino. They had kiosks all throughout the location in Connecticut at Foxwoods. They pulled most of the kiosk. They do have them on around the sports book, but they pulled them out of the bars throughout random places because there was a lot of circumventing and a lot of different people betting different amounts of money, and they didn't want it. But I just say, just have someone that. Can't you just have a sophisticated system? We're talking about things that are AI and futuristic stuff here. Why can't you just have someone that monitors a system and, cuts it out? Or maybe even I'm sure there's cameras at every kiosk.
Yeah.
A facial recognition. Pay someone $40,000 a year to monitor the kiosk.
God forbid they do that.
No,
and
I'm not trying to pick on any one sports
That's right. It's all of them. And they villainize the bettor for doing something that the kiosk permitted them to do. I'll tell you the easiest example of that was when the Westgate app, Todd Wishnev, our buddy Todd Wishnev, he was betting, I want to say it was a baseball thing where it was Todd will correct me on this, but it had something to do with he was betting something correlated in a baseball game, but the app allowed him to do it.
You have
and
to
so
have it
he
where
was
it's not.
sitting in the Westgate,
Right.
And they came and they kind of scolded him about it. They're like, "Don't do that anymore." And he's like, "I didn't know the app let me do it. I didn't think." have some responsibility because
that happens with baseball totals. So it's
Yeah.
a small correlation, but
Yeah.
home team under, road over. And if your app takes it,
then make your app not be able to take it. There's a simple solution for that.
we talked a little bit last night about even local guys. When I used to play with local guys, and as soon as you win, the excuses are ridiculous. They let you bet so long to see if they can beat you. They're almost free rolling. They are free rolling you. As soon as you win, you hacked my system. What? You hacked my system.
You hacked.
You bet with a different IP address, with out of state. You have circumvented my limits. You've done that. They actually think you. I know people out there are going to agree with me. You've been told this before, that somehow you actually got into their system and put in plays after the acceptable time of the event, and you change the timestamps. Like, these bookmakers are so used to busting people out and so used to winning that they look in their mind, they literally say, well, how did this guy win? He couldn't win legitimate.
It's like
he must be cheating.
It's like it's their birthright.
Like it's their birthright.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what a time we're in. Like I said, if I had kids, I would not want to recommend this business for anyone, professional sports betting.
We have discussed it before. I couldn't agree more. Bill Krackomberger, everybody. At Bill Crackman with a K on Twitter. Wisecracks, the name of the podcast he does with John Orlando. Prop Points is next. Nick Whalen and Jeff Erickson. Enjoy from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.